The planet Nereth 4 had been dead for centuries. Once a thriving alien world, it was now a frozen wasteland buried beneath kilometers of ice and silence. Veteran Captain Isaac Rourke had no intention of coming here. He'd fought too many wars, buried too many comrades. But when the United Earth Research Corps asked him to escort a civilian expedition to recover ancient biological specimens, he reluctantly agreed. They said it was a simple guard duty. No combat, just protection from environmental hazards. Easy pay. They lied. The beginning. The transport ship Halcyon touched down on Nereth IV's icy plateau during a snowstorm that looked more like a war between clouds. Rourke's boots sank deep into the ice as he stepped out, pulse rifle slung across his chest. The team of scientists hustled behind him, dragging scanners and fusion drills. Their leader, Dr. Lyra Hahn, waved a glowing tablet at him. "The coordinates are below the glacier, 30 meters down," she shouted over the storm. 30 meters? Rourke frowned. "That's a tomb, not a dig site." She smiled faintly. "Exactly." They drilled for hours, melting ice layer by layer until they struck something dark and metallic. Not rock, metal. The scanners pulsed an alarm. "Structure detected," Hahn said, excitement in her eyes. "It's still powered." The team widened the breach until a black corridor appeared beneath them, frozen but intact. Alien runes shimmered faintly on the walls, glowing like dying embers. Rourke went first. His training demanded it. The air inside was still, painfully cold, and reeked faintly of ozone. At the end of the corridor stood a vault door, massive, sealed tight, covered in ice thicker than his arm. Symbols etched into its surface pulsed once, as if recognizing them. Then a voice, soft, mechanical, and ancient, echoed through their helmets. "Containment integrity compromised. Revival protocol initiated." Before anyone could react, the vault split open with a thunderous crack. A wave of warm air burst out, followed by mist, and shapes moved within it. Rourke raised his rifle automatically. Out of the haze stepped three creatures, enormous, reptilian, their scales glinting like liquid metal beneath the thawing frost. Each one exhaled a plume of vapor that hissed in the cold air. Their eyes, however, weren't predatory. They weren't afraid. One of them, a smaller creature with silver-blue scales, spoke in broken galactic common. "Human, please help us." Rourke froze. He'd faced monsters before, but never one that begged. The middle. Hours later, the team had set up heaters and biomonitors inside the chamber. The alien beings, calling themselves the Dravari, remained huddled together, trembling as if the cold wasn't outside, but in their memories. Dr. Hahn recorded everything. Their vitals are unstable, but coherent. They appear to be ancient cryogenic survivors, possibly from before the extinction epoch. Rourke leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You mean they've been frozen for thousands of years?" "Millions," one of the Dravari corrected softly. Its voice was deep, rumbling with sorrow. The largest one, its scales dull bronze, tilted its head toward him. "We were not meant to wake. Not yet. But your drills broke the sleep locks." "Sleep locks?" Rourke asked. "Containment prisons," it said. "We are fugitives from our own kind. Refugees from a war you cannot imagine." Dr. Hahn frowned. "What kind of war?" "The kind that ends stars." Their story unfolded slowly, painfully. Long before humanity had built its first orbital ship, the Dravari had ruled a sector of the galaxy spanning hundreds of worlds. But their rulers, those who called themselves ascendants, had turned against creation itself. They began consuming entire biospheres to sustain immortality. A rebellion rose among the lower castes, scientists, healers, and warriors who could no longer stomach the slaughter. The three before them were among those who defied the ascendants and lost. They had fled, sealing themselves in stasis deep beneath Neretha's crust, hoping one day another civilization might find them. "Why come to me?" Rourke asked. The silver-blue one stepped closer. Its voice shook. "Because you carry the scent of war, human. The mark of survival. You understand what it means to lose everything and still fight." Rourke said nothing. He didn't need to. The ghosts of Mars Colony and the ashes of Titan Base were still in his mind. They wanted asylum, refuge on Earth. Han was cautious. "Even if I believe you, the Coalition won't. You're classified as extinct war entities. They'll dissect you." The Dravari lowered their heads in silence. Then the Halcyon's proximity alarm blared. Rourke rushed to the comm screen and froze. Dozens of blips appeared on the radar. Ships. Incoming. Who the hell? Dr. Han paled. "Those signatures aren't human." Outside, through the blizzard, burning streaks lit the horizon. The ascendants had come. The conflict. The ground shook as the first beam struck the ice plain. The sky erupted in blue fire. Rourke dove for cover as shards of ice rained down. The Dravari roared, a guttural, ancient sound that shook the cavern walls. "They've found us," the bronze-scaled one growled. "Run, human. They will not stop." Rourke slammed a fresh clip into his rifle. "Not my style." Dr. Han looked terrified. "You can't fight them. Those are orbit-class weapons." He smiled grimly. "Then we'll just make their aim harder." He ordered the team to evacuate through the auxiliary tunnel while he stayed behind with the Dravari. Together, they sealed the main entrance and rigged the tunnel with thermal charges. The first of the enemy drones broke through the ice, sleek, insectoid machines with glowing crimson eyes. Rourke fired first, the plasma bolts lighting the darkness. The Dravari followed, unleashing gouts of energy from their throats, blue-white plasma that tore through metal like paper. The battle was chaos. Every explosion shook the cavern. Every breath burned Rourke's lungs. "Keep them back," he shouted. But the drones kept coming. Then the silver-blue Dravari collapsed, wounded. Rourke ran to her side, pulling debris off her wings. "Stay with me." She looked up at him, eyes dimming. "You remind me of our warriors. You fight for others." "Yeah," he grunted. "Old habit." The bronze leader let out a roar that rattled the glacier itself. "Enough." He turned toward the ceiling and unleashed a blast that melted through hundreds of meters of ice. The surface cracked open to the storm above. The Ascendant fleet loomed overhead, their ships vast, glimmering like obsidian temples. The Dravari looked at Rourke. "You gave us your courage, human. Take ours in return." Light flared around them, a surge of energy that wrapped their bodies like liquid fire. They were activating something deep within themselves. Rourke staggered back as the ground trembled. "What are you doing?" "Ending the hunt." Their bodies began to dissolve into energy, merging into a single blinding sphere of light. Rourke could feel it humming inside his bones, a gravity beyond reason. The Ascendant fleet opened fire, but the beams curved, bent, and disappeared into the vortex. Then, with a sound like thunder splitting the sky, the light expanded and the fleet vanished. The storm went silent.